Namaste to you all. Good morning. So, last time we were talking about Tripura Bhairavi. We had some exercises to do. If you did the exercises, great. If not, whenever you find time, please do it. Today we'll be talking about the goddess or the mother Chinnamasta. Now, Chinnamasta is the force of separation. As well, she is the mother which unites the creation and the creator. So think yourself as the creation and someone else as a creator, or think yourself as the creator and whatever you create in your life. So see that union. The shadow which falls into this category is addiction to I self. When we are addicted to I self, we forget the creator, the creation. We totally forget about it. Even if we try to say that there is someone who creates, there is some power, we are only trying or saying it through the mouth. We don't really mean it. This is generally what we do. And these are the things which create shadows in us. When we say things which we don't really mean, or it would be, we don't really say it out of our knowing. We only say it because we have to say it. It's kind of formalities. That's when Chinnamasta throws her light upon us. The light of Chinnamasta, the light to get away from the addiction of I self, is preservance of energy. Brahmacharya, one of the yamas. So every time we say what we don't want to say, we are losing energy. Every time we do things what we don't want to do, totally, we lose energy. The same way, if we think, if we feel things we should not, we are losing our energy. That's how it is. Okay. A simple exercise first is, can you see your face without imagining it, or without seeing yourself on a mirror or in a mirror? Can you see your own face? So that's one of the exercises, simple exercise. It won't take much time. We just need to do. Whenever the I self is at its peak, or whenever this ego thing is at the highest point, just try to see your own face without any mental image or without any imagination or without looking into the mirror, can you see your face? Okay. So once you start doing this,
Can I ask, you think about when doing meditation, trying to see yourself without imaging the things about yourself, or how?
in meditation, we are not seeing the face. In meditation, we are seeing ourselves,
Yeah.
the whole. Here we are only concentrating on this face. Because
And
if tomorrow this face is not here and some other face comes up, this will not be a Pawan. This will not be Milena or Sunela ji or anyone. If this changes, everything changes. It's because of the I self. This face right now says this is Milena ji, this is Sunela ji, this is Pawan, this is he, this is she. Only this face. So look into your own face. It's a contemplation. It's something rather different than meditation. So in meditation, we are seeing the whole of the self. We are not concentrated on any face because we don't see face when we meditate. How can
wait,
we
want
see
to
that?
show you something. See?
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Some kind of yoga they're practicing on the beach. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's water. Water is always amazing. It has so much power. So what happens is when we start to see our own face without any imagination or without seeing ourselves into a mirror, we find something. And that's something you have to find. If I say it would be only knowledge. So try and do this exercise and we can discuss once you have done this exercise. It's a simple, very simple exercise. Okay. When we are in the womb of our mother and we are just about to become a totality, or rather, I would say when we are about to become a total potentiality, through the top of our head, the divine sends energy, a divine energy through the Brahma Randra. This word may be familiar because I have spoken about this in many of my last classes. So through Brahmarandra, the divine energy enters into us. It keeps on entering and it keeps on moving into all the nadis, into all the cells, into all the organs, into the bones, everywhere. It mixes up with the blood, it mixes up with the prana inside, it moves everywhere. So once that Brahmarandra, through the Brahmarandra, once that divine energy reaches and descends to the base of our spine, the Brahmarandra here closes off. And the moment it closes off, we forget our true nature. This is where meditation is such a great tool to keep the Brahmarandra open or reopen the Brahmarandra. It's not that while meditation, just by sitting and moving into a meditation, something happens to us. It is only when the Brahmarandra opens up and then the energy starts to flow in, then something happens to us. For the meditation to happen at its peak, our Brahmarandra needs to open up again. That's when you move into deeper meditation, hours of meditations or hours of silence, even when you are totally silent. And total silence does not mean that you don't speak to anyone. It also means you are not on your mobile, you are not reading a book, you are not simply gazing at something. No. Total silence means when there is no thought, no feeling, no emotion. Your disappearance is total silence. That's what we mean by pure silence, the disappearing of the I self. Okay. It's amazing once you reach there. It's actually very, very easy to reach there. The only hard thing is you have to do it. So that's what happens. Now, what happens is this energy which settles at the base of the spine, this is what we call Kundalini, the dormant energy. We all have it because when we were in the womb, it was transferred to us, moved into us. Now, because we forget our true nature, the Kundalini is at the base. So the energy is now laying dormant at the base. And so Chinnamasta. Chinnamasta is the divine force which opens up once again or helps us to raise the Kundalini. Yes, Sunelaji, you wanted to say something?
Oh, no. I rejoined.
Okay, you
I'm
read it.
disconnected.
Okay, it's okay. So this Chinnamasta is in the Shushumna Nadi, the mid Nadi, the middle. One side is the Ida, another side is the Pingla. Now, Chinnamasta is that Shushumna Nadi, and once we connect to our own self, this is when we say the Kundalini rises. The Kundalini rises up above. The Ida and Pingla helps, but the real Kundalini rises to the Chinnamasta and it reaches up above. That's a direct line because Ida and Pingla holds down, but because they hold down and then they interlace each other at the forehead to go into the top of the head. But Chinnamasta is directly connected from the head to the base of the spine. It's a total, or the Brahmarandra, not actually the head, but the Brahmarandra is connected to the Chinnamasta or the Shushumna Nadi. Okay. So all these are possible. The only way they are possible is meditation. They cannot be possible with headstands, fish pose, or downward dogs. They are not possible. Okay. So no amount of inversions can make the Kundalini to come down. Okay, maybe the hips are up and the spine is tilting towards the head. It's not going to happen. These inversions are to show that the triangle can be tilted. So inversion, when we are doing inversion, we need to figure out the triangles getting into their real shape, with the lower triangle facing up and the upper triangle facing down, and they interlacing to become 6 triangles. That's what these triangles are to do. Now, can you, in this moment itself, can you say what is the stagnant universal addiction? There are many addictions, right? Drugs, cigarettes, drinking, many. But what is the stagnant universal addiction?
Can you repeat it again? So your inversions are not good for the
No. Inversions are, I did not say inversions are not good. Inversions don't help the Kundalini to come down. Inversions teach us. Inversion tells us that the Kundalini can come down and the triangle which is facing down can tilt up, and the triangle facing up can tilt down. That's what
So what-
inversions should be done for, not
Okay,
for
and
fancy
then
things. That's what I'm saying. Because
standing
nowadays inversions are like fancy. If you can do a handstand, the whole world is like, oh my God, you are an amazing teacher, kind of. So that's what I'm saying. If you can do handstands, you are like popular almost everywhere. But it's a fancy thing. That's what it is. Yeah, Sunela ji, which station did
I
we
think
reach?
the addiction. I'm going to be like the
So
attachment.
just
I think attachment is the biggest addiction, I guess. Currently, everyone has some attachments to something.
That is why when you said in the WhatsApp today, one of your, what is it called, status,
Yeah.
that is why I asked you that question. So yes, it's actually the seductive I self. That's the biggest stagnant addiction we all have. Nobody is free from that I self. Because if I ask you who you are like, I am this and that. But the thing is, are we really that? So if somebody asks me who you are, I'd say, I am a guy, I am a man. What do you do? Then I would say, I teach or I share. Where do you live? Then I'm attached to my city, country. And then I talk about my parents, my sisters. So I'm attached, or I am actually, it's not I am, it's the I self which is speaking, but we think it's the I am. So this I am and I self is clouded by all the shadows which we carry on, mostly the shadow of Tripura Sundari, Bhairavi, and then Chinnamasta. So Chinnamasta is one, as we said, it's the mother or it's the energy which separates. And it is also the union. So the separation and the union, this energy in us keeps us away the I am and the I self, or one day the I self and the I am becomes one. Right now, think about I self as a drop of water, as a drop. And this I am is the ocean. So even now we think we are a drop of the ocean. Because once we know, it becomes our knowing that we are the ocean itself. There is nothing to describe about oneself. Then who you are, you don't actually know. But right now, if we go into this world and somebody asks who you are, and if you just stand staring, something else will happen. Maybe they will take me to a mental hospital, or maybe they suggest me to see a doctor if I'm not able to say who am I, because that's the thing. That is what I'm saying. Almost everyone. I won't say almost everyone. I would actually say 99.99% are living in that seductive I self. It's a hard thing because even that passport, even that recognition cards, everything keeps on writing our name along with our picture. This is why the contemplation of watching your own face will bring you into something else. Once you start doing it, you'll start to see something else. Because dropping that name first is the hardest thing. Rest is secondary thing. So this is why Ramana Maharishi's meditation upon who am I was not based upon asking who am I. It was actually what he meant to say was, allow yourself to move into that space where you don't even have the question of yourself asking, who am I? Because right now, who is asking, who am I, is this power who already knows he is the asker and he is asking. So whatever answers will come from I self. And I would say, who am I? Okay, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. But who is this saying, I am not this, I am not this? It's the I self. So that's the tricky part of not understanding the depth of the meditation, who am I? And people start to practice who am I, and they keep on saying, I am not this, I am not this. And at the end, they also say, I am not the body. The real thing is, without the body, the I am is not there. So thinking that the body is different from the I am or from the soul, from the spirit, is where the separation has started. We have to see we are the body. We are the body, we are the blood in it, we are the nerve cells, we are everything which is. Because the ocean is not separate from the waves, and the waves are not separate from the ocean. It's like the whole of the universe is not separate from us, because the whole of the universe is working through us. It's not that the creator somewhere is different from this creation. It is the creator which is creating. So the creator is here, not outside. Right now, we think the creator is outside, up above the clouds, or on the sky, in the sky, maybe in the heaven or hell. So that's where this seductive I self is one of the biggest issues. And until the I self disappears, the shadows will never disappear. That's the tough ask. The toughest ask is for the I self to disappear. So yeah, attachment. But attachment comes because of only I self. If there is no I, there is no attachment. So I self is the most thing. Now we are addicted. Now the addiction thing of attachment. We are addicted to all the stories. Now the first story was, you are my son. This is your name. This is your country. These are stories which we keep repeating within us. We don't repeat them anymore. They have as if become a part of us. So that's our knowledge. The knowledge which is not clarified knowledge, but a given knowledge. And then we are fit with some belief system. So we believe, we start to believe, we act according to the beliefs which have been put into us. Out of that beliefs and the stories, we start to have thoughts accordingly. This is I should not think, this is I should think. These are kind of thoughts. We have differentiated or categorized the thoughts within us. All these thoughts are coming from the I self. What happens is when we are living in these stories, when we are living in this limited knowledge, we are limiting our true nature. And we don't get exposed. The whole of us is never exposed because of the limitations we put upon ourselves. Buddha said, because of this addiction, there is suffering and fear. If the I self is not we are attached to, we will not have any kind of suffering, dukkha. No dukkha can prevail if we are not the I self. So, a question for yourself, the second in Chinnamasta. What sense objects do you perceive every day, every moment, maybe, every hour, every minute, maybe, are the objects, or what sense objects do you pursue? You have to make a list, at least for some days, at least for that sadhana period. Then Sunila ji had a nice status upon sadhana. I think yesterday it was nice. It was nice. The thing is, many things we copy and paste. Yeah, I also do. We just copy and paste, or we hear somewhere and we rewrite it. Every time we are doing this, we are under the shadow of Asteya. The light Asteya needs to be there. So, I'm not saying it's bad to write status, it's wrong, it's always nice. Maybe it will help somewhat. But as I said, we need to be selfish. We need to be first looking into ourselves. And that's very important. Once we are selfish, totally, utterly selfish, that's the best chance, the easiest way to drop the I self. Only then there is a great possibility of the I self being not there, when we become selfish totally. So don't be afraid to become selfish. What can you do? Okay? So you can call upon a friend, a good friend. Friend definition we already discussed one day. So you call upon a friend if you have, or just take a book, or maybe just your mobile or anything, an object which you can see. Just place it in front of you. So you can sit with a friend in front of you, or your mobile or book or anything in front of you. Just sit. Once you sit and once you have looked into your friend or the object, now close your eyes. So you close your eyes just for a moment and then open your eyes. See, between opening and closing your eyes, there is a little gap. Just in the same way, there is a gap between looking at the person or object and recognizing it. So even if you know this friend for 40, 50 years, once you close your eyes and you open your eyes, there is a gap between seeing and recognizing her or him or with the object. So we need to stay in that gap longer. We need to stay in the gap without allowing the recognition to take over. That's where we need to stay more. So what happens is, once we learn to stay in the gap between the impulse thought, the emotions, the sensation, and the recognition of the other, if we keep doing it, practicing it every day in the part of our daily living, we will see things beyond what we have so far seen. That's the only way. That's the only way to connect. And this is Kundalini Brahmarandra has once again opened up with this game. So that's how things are. Okay. So feeling of being separate arises in our awareness, because awareness knows it. Okay. And the feeling of separation is not actually always there, if you see. First, we bring it to our awareness. So first we have to have a thought which will give a rise to an awareness, and through that awareness, then we feel the feeling of being separate. So we can always move above the separation feeling if we are able to see that thought, which gave a rise to the awareness of being feeling lonely. You see, there is a process. It's not that we start to miss someone or we start to feel separate from someone. There is a thought first. We have to look into that thought. This thought is a creation of Chinnamasta, because C is the energy which separates, and C is the energy which unites. So we have to look into it, because deeply inside, when we are in that awareness, we are always present. So if I am present here and I miss someone at this moment, it's not just I started missing. There was a thought. The thought became my awareness. And in that awareness, the feeling of missing came. But I was here when this happened. I was here before this happened. I was here when the thought came. I was here when the thought was created. You see, we are the creation. It's not that thoughts just come into us. We create it. Sometimes unknowingly, mostly unknowingly. But deep inside, we know. Remember in Tripura Sundari, we did an exercise when we say, I know. So, what do you mean? What do we mean when we say, I know? Is it out of some knowledge? Or is it really that we know that I know? So that's where all these exercises will get you there. So it's not just one. So all these 10 are one. This is why they are known as Maha Vidya. Maha, the biggest, the greatest knowledge. Vidya is the knowledge. This is the greatest knowledge. This knowledge you see back, if you see back into it, this is all about yamas and niyamas. This is why we can never leave away from yamas and niyamas, because if we forget any of them, we have lost track. And then it's, as I said, it's again a great circle to go around. So many have this issue, why yamas and niyamas? This is why. This is why yamas and niyamas, because if it is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, that's samadhi. If you turn it back from samadhi, dhyana, dharana, pratyahara, pranayama, asana, we are not living yama and niyama, there is no samadhi. Samadhi is enlightenment, awakened state. Awakened, when are we awakened? When we are following all the yamas and niyamas. When we are enlightened, we are living yamas and niyamas. So you can see from up to down, yama, niyama. You see from down to up, it is yama and niyama. So yama and niyama are the branches, yama the fruit, and yama and niyama are the root. So the root is the fruit. So the seed which we all have has that potential to grow into that flower or that fruit, which means the seed is the fruit. In between is the process, but the seed is the flower or the fruit or the flower is the seed. This is the relation. This is the triangles, the facing up and facing down. Right now, the way we are living, it is saying the downward facing triangle is the root and the upward facing triangle is the fruit. Right now, that's how our life is. And that's how we have been told, we have been taught to live by, and we are doing it perfectly. As guided, we are guided in that way, living in that way. But we need to understand the fruit and the seed are one. This, when it comes to our deep knowing, it comes to our experience, and we are living in that space where the fruit is the seed and the seed is the fruit, then things happen totally different in our life. So yama and niyama, once again, I am back into the same topic. So it's like going in circles. It's so important. It's the only base. I mean, I could write why yamas and niyamas are important in 1,000 ways. I might even explain through my knowing why yamas and niyamas are so very important. Not doing that is falling in the trap. And to do that, to follow all the yamas and niyamas, we have to study before. So the theory part is before Atha Yoga Anusasanam. What B.K.S. Iyengar should have totally written was, do your theory, then do your practice, because practice is important. Only knowing the theory won't help, but practicing without knowing the theory doesn't help either. Nowadays, you will find all over the world teachers nowadays, not before. They are not concerned about the alignment anymore. In the beginning, it was like your knee should not move over your ankle. Now they are okay with that. Why? Why are they okay? Now they are not concerned with your palms having to face outwards instead of the same direction, the front side. They are not concerned. They are not even concerned with the downward dog where your heel and your toes have to be in the same direction. It's all about knowing that alignments are good to save the body, but only your body you can really do save. The saving thing only for your body. You cannot help the other. You can give them a hint. If you do a little more this side can have some issues, but we never know if somebody is this side is already more flexible than this side. We don't know that. And there is no point in trying to balance all these because we cannot. It's a human born with the bone structures in such a way. For me, my left leg is shorter. So no amount of yoga asanas or alignments will ever help me with that. That bone is already small. This femur or humerus, whatever it is smaller and no amount of yoga will help me. No amount. So there is no point in trying to think much of those terms. And this is all what happens. This is all what was said by Patanjali ji and the yoga in the Vedas. In the Vedas, it was also said the same. Now, the Vedas and Upanishads are the things to be done, to be learned, to have the knowing of before moving into yoga. So the Vedas and Upanishads are the ground. We have to get a touch of that ground to come on this ground, which is now on the yoga mat. So to come on the yoga mat, we first need to see what we need to do on the ground. Coming on the yoga mat, now we see how we react and do things on the ground again. But before knowing, so this is why Tantra says the body is the important part. Because this body can help us move back, and this body then can move front. But anyways, this body is needed. Okay, so this was Chinnamasta. Okay. Next, mother is, or the goddess is Dhumavati. Okay, Dhumavati. So Dhumavati shadow is the ignorance of true nature. When we don't see our true nature, which is unlimited, and we start to see limited. This is about timing, this is about not the right time. I don't think I will reach any further. I don't deserve. I'm not capable, or kind of deeds. These are all ignorance. Because this true nature of us is unlimited, but we have limited it by mostly lack of the knowledge, the true knowledge. Because we are limiting ourselves by living in the I self. Then, because we live in the I self, we think we know that this is our limit. Moving back to the other mother, Bhairavi. Because we think that I know is only this far where we are moving back to Tripura Sundari, where we have constricted our energies. So as you move into the next and next Mahavidya, you will see you have to work upon the other Mahavidyas before that. So it's like you have to work from 1 to 10 and 10 to 1. You have to do. Wherever you relate, you start from them. The best thing is you can do from where you relate. This is the easy thing about yamas and niyamas. You don't have to follow all of them at once, because that would be a hard living, a hard job to do. So you relate to one only. Suppose you relate to asteya, non-still. Then if you move on and live in that asteya every day, you can see that you have actually lived and living in all the yamas and niyamas. Slowly for sure, but yes, you have started. So we cannot practice all yamas and niyamas together. We work on one, and then the other follows. So the one, whichever you think or whichever you feel, whichever has your strong will, and you can be dedicated to stick to that, work upon that. The others, we don't have to work, they follow. So this is why yamas and niyamas aren't hard, because you just have to work on one of them, but totally, not like conditionally. We cannot work conditionally on yama or any of the niyama. We have to work into it totally. coming back to Dhumavati, the light of Dhumavati is self-reflection, which is Swadhyaya, self-study, one of the niyama. Only when we study about ourselves, then the limitations of the true nature would become unlimited. Okay? So, important question for you is, do you have any fear? Almost all of us have fear. So this is the question.
Do I have any what? Didn't
Any
understand.
fear? Fear?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
We all
that's
do.
what I'm saying. We all have fear. So if so, why?
Because of attachment.
No, it can be any reason. I'm not saying any reason. The main reason is because we think we are limited. If we know truly that we are unlimited, there is no fear. So that's the whole thing. That's the darkness, the dark shadow, and that's the light. So the moment we study ourselves and we know, it becomes our knowing that we are unlimited and we know our true nature, there is no fear. Right now, the fear is because we are living in the dark way when we don't know our true nature. That's the shadow. So you see, if you see back, right now only you are here. So you see that Milena Ji, if we see back into our whole life studying about these 10 Mahavidyas, we totally know we relate to each one of them. So in total, we already have 10 dark shadows already. We all have it. So if there are many, we don't know, but only if we know 10, we are all living in dark shadows. And people are like, I have worked upon myself. I have been working upon myself. Where are you working? If you can say I am working on myself, you are already attached to I self. Because you cannot say I am working. I cannot say I do yoga. I cannot say I meditate. I cannot say I concentrate. I cannot say I live. I has to go. And then it should be living, meditating, loving, laughing, smiling. I does not come. And then you don't have to say. It will be totally reflected out of us. How many people have you met in your life from whom everything reflects? That's the thing. So if yoga was so magical and people have been doing this for years, it should have been reflected by now. The only reflections I see is at the beach wearing bikinis and having amazing clothes to do yoga poses. That's what reflecting. The bikini is reflecting, the makeup thing is reflecting the sun, and as you showed me the ocean, that's reflecting. What else is reflecting? And then there are amazing comments. You are so charming. Come on, change the background, get her fully dressed up, covered from head to toe. Is she or he charming now? That's the whole thing. That is why this Chinnamasta. Can you see your face without a mental image or seeing in the mirror? So the other person, can we see them without their face? That's where someone said, gaze into the eyes, you can see into someone's soul. Are we ready enough to see someone's soul? Now, we can be ready. The other thing is, the other person needs to be qualified or living in that space when they have opened their eyes. If the other person does not open their eyes, how can we look into their soul? So if I have a wall, you can never see here in the soul. So I have to have no walls and you have to be able to see inside. So it's not only one man's job or one woman's or one person's job. It is about the two. So this person needs to know this is the mirror and this person needs to know this is the mirror. So two people coming into contact, they need to know that they are mirrors. Once they know they are mirrors, then Shiva and Shakti can unite. Otherwise, how is it ever going to be possible? How is ever going to Kundalini rise up? How is it ever going to happen that a person can reach Samadhi? If these two people don't even know that they are mirrors, it's very easy to say we are mirrors of each other. Okay, I can say this thousands of times in a day. Everyone is my mirror. Everyone is my mirror also means I am a mirror of everyone, which means I am not separate from them and they are not separate from me. So everything in this world is also not separate from me, and that thing is also not separate from me. Then how can we say living beings and non-living beings? So you see the depth is too much. Patanjali Ji was not just a writer or a philosopher. He was the greatest scientist and also the greatest mathematician. Both. So a scientist plus a mathematician can bring up sky art, which is science plus art together. So yoga is not only science, yoga is not only art. So this is why it says yoga is not only asanas, yoga is not only pranayamas and meditation. It is together. And together is the 8 limbs. This is the depth of yoga. Okay, moving away from Patanjali, he must be disturbed by me so much. I keep on calling him again and again, so many times. So every one of us has this thing called dreams. Okay. And there is not a single person who can say, I don't dream. Everyone does. Many don't even know that they dream even during the daytime. Just like 99% males don't know that they have periods just like you. So it's a shame kind of thing. And no school yet teaches this. And until they teach this, the male society will never see woman as the greatest potentiality. A very few do. But this is the depth. This is to become Shiva. To become Shiva, a male needs to know that they have periods. And if they cannot become Shiva, how can they ever unite with the Shakti? The biggest question, how can yoga help? Asanas will never help. Because nowadays you can see, I have been going through periods, but I don't stop my flow. It's not about you stopping your flow or asana. The period is going to tell you something. It is actually telling you something every season. So the winter season period, the summer season, the autumn season, and any other season, periods are always telling you something about you. The heat, the coldness, the dampness, the blooming is always telling you something about your 2-3 days or the 4 days. It is actually telling you lots. People are busy. If you are pregnant and still you can do all the asanas and also the inversions, the whole world is like, oh my God. Because of that, oh my God, people move there. I'm not saying it's bad to do asanas during pregnancy. not bad at all, because it really helps to conceive the child without going to the C-section. That's great. This is for you, not the whole world to see your bump. I know you are vulnerable, you are like everything, you are self-loving kind of thing. But this is now taking on energies from people. You can't say everyone looking at that bump is having that positive lotus energy being sent there. That's the danger. So people do things without even knowing there are so many other things happening. You can show someone that you self-love and you can stand up naked. Nothing wrong in that. You can, because you love yourself, you really love. The thing is, there are many people who are going through a trauma, who are going through a stage in their life where they are overcoming that first touch by someone else, the inappropriate touch. They are still going through, and they see this and it triggers them. How the hell are you doing yoga if you are triggering someone else? Where is the Satya? Where is the Ahimsa? Where is the Asteya? Where is the Brahmacharya? That's what happens. This is why I said on yamas and niyamas, I think I could write novels one day. This lifetime is very small, so maybe I need to come back again, even if I don't want to just write a novel on yamas and niyamas. So this is where we forget. We do things, many things in our life on a daily basis, every day, without knowing, which means not totally aware. Total awareness could have been this, everyone. When everyone is included in us, then we do it. So there's lots of things. This is why I am a person who does not believe in self-confidence, self-love, self-hate. I don't believe in all these kinds of topics. Neither I teach anyone to love themselves. I teach them to become selfish, but I never say I teach self-love. I don't even promote self-love. It's okay, we are all here. So what happens is when we dream, as we were talking, everyone dreams. When we have a dream, when we are in a dream state, say we are sleeping and when we are in a dream state, the I is which is being projected. The I is which is seeing the dream attached with the I. So I am seeing the dream. I am the one who is creating the dream. I am one who is creating the consequences and the pictures of the dream which I am seeing. So I am the creator who creates the dream, and I create it because I self is attached to the I. So that's our dream state. That's what we call as dream. Because dreams are not false. There is something of the past memories, the vasanas, the samskaras. Maybe not this lifetime, but of some lifetime. And we see it because it is the I self creating it. So in that state, we can move back into many other lifetimes. So that's why the dreams come. This is why every dream has a meaning. Every dream. Now there are millions of, or maybe more than billions and trillions of dreams we all have. But every dream has a meaning. Have we really gone into the depth of seeing a dream again and again? Have we sat down with ourselves and asked ourselves, why do I see this? We are not even concerned. We are like, oh my God, it's just a dream.
But
It is
I do.
actually, hello?
Pawan, yes, I had a dreams like some kind of predictive dreams, and I had a and always think what the dream is trying to tell me. So I take them very seriously. Like, a few days ago, actually, I'm 7 days ago or before, I am waking before 2 and 3 in the so it's not kind of when I'm waking up 4:35. It's more much earlier. So it's the dreams wake me up and I'm totally awake, and then think about the meaning of the dreams. And very interesting. There are a lot of things to understand yourself well if you're going to your dreams. But they're very vivid, and I feel strong energy. Something is waking me up, and then I start to meditate because I don't know why I'm waking up in that time. So okay, sit and meditate to see what's happening. But yes, it's very interesting to watch your dreams, and a lot of things before it. 20 years before I have a dream about my kids, and I know what name I have to do to give to my kids. So I had a vivid dream how they will look, and they said to me the name should be that name on the different language is the same name, same. So very, very interesting, and I just followed
Yeah,
it.
it is really very interesting because they just don't show up in our life. They are there for a reason. If someone like you right now are waking up before Brahma Muhurat, sit with yourself more. You are in that phase, the phase where the greatest possibility is going to happen in your life. This I can say, not because I have a knowledge of it, because I have a knowing of this. Waking up exactly almost at that same phase before Brahma Muhurat has a lot to say because that period is of Pita. Pita dosha, transformation phase. The greatest transformation, the greatest potentiality is moving towards becoming the greatest possibility in your life right now. So as you say, you already sit and meditate upon it. That's great. So whenever this happens, sit more. You will reach and understand what is the greatest possibility happening up. It's like that cocoon breaking up to become that butterfly. And I am a Scorpio, so by zodiac. And this really resonates a lot with me because Scorpios are the greatest mysteries. Okay? This
So
sign,
you're the Scorpio in a Jyotish
yeah,
horoscope, or in
in Jyotish also, and also, I mean, in the way we write here in India, the Indian way also, and also through the birth dates as in the West. So I
really?
actually am total Scorpio because that's how it
Oh,
is. So
yes,
it's a
because I think
pure,
it's
pure
totally
Scorpio.
different in my case, or I thought it's a different in every case. The
It
sign
is
in Western.
it is different because you get your name. In India, we have a name. So our zodiac sign comes with the first letter of your name.
Oh,
But for me, it is the same. The birth time of a Scorpio is totally when I was born. There is a birth time. That's Vedic. That's according to Vedic astrology, according to the Indian astrology, and then according to the birth date. My three signs are Scorpio.
wow,
So it's
that is a
yes,
sign.
it's a really wow kind of because it took me many years to understand why I am like this. Why? because I questioned myself why I was not normal like other relatives
What is
or
normal?
kids. No. See, this is the thing. This was the knowledge. What I mean to say is this was what I was thinking before I entered the yoga. Only when I and yoga met, then I had no more questions about being normal. But before that, I used to think and wonder, why am I not like others, normal? That's what I used to ask
I had
myself.
the same question. I was always a bit different than others. So I was always trying before yoga. Okay, I will do this to be like others. I will do this to be like others. And then,
Yeah.
but it came with years, I think, with maturity. So who cares what they say? I'll be like,
No.
I want.
Yeah, we don't care anymore. That's for sure. But what I'm trying to say is, what we are trying to look after here is this Dhumavati gets us there. So C is that goddess power which brings us back to our true nature. And she is the only goddess which can bring us, or she is the only power, the energy, the nadi, whatever, whichever nadi she can be. And this can only happen if we study ourselves. So Swadhyaya is so very important because without Swadhyaya, the I self can never go. Without Swadhyaya, the constriction of energy can never go. Without Swadhyaya, the jealousy nature, the comparison nature will never go. Without Swadhyaya, the knowing of the true self is not possible. So you see this Dhumavati again is in connection with all the other goddesses before her. So that's what I said a little while before. It's everything. So nothing is separate, nothing. But because we have been taught this is West, this is woman, this is man, this is female, this is male, this is this, this is this. Because we have been boom blasted, flooded with so many things in, the whole of our true nature looks so limited. Coming back to the question, do you have fear? If so, why? So write down your fears and then write down why do you have that fear? So we have to write it down. And once we write down our fears and we start to question our fears, then we can move into the roots of the fear. Only when we reach the roots of the fear, then there is a possibility that the fear will be transformed. It won't go away, it will be transformed. The dark fear will get the light. So that's where it happens. Now that's one of the dream, a dream kind of thing. Okay. While sleeping, we move into a deep sleep. Now, deep sleep is an experience of the formless I self. There is no form. That's a dream, deep sleep. We think or we are in a deep sleep. We are formless. Staying in a formless state is a wonderful thing. But it's so rare. On an average, a person just gets maximum 2.5 hours of deep sleep. There are nowadays electronic devices and gadgets which can tell you your deep sleep. That needs to increase. Then you don't have to sleep. You can be awake and you can still be in a deep sleep. That's when people, many yogis and rishis and gurus have been meditating for hours, years, decades, centuries. they are living in a deep sleep, formless. Because Shiva and Shakti, even if they look, are two, when they unite, they are formless. There is a form given to them known as Ardha Narishwar, half male, half female. That's a form to show us so that we can see. But that is formless. They are totally, there is no form. This is why Lingam is there. That's the Shiva. If you don't know much, it's a kind of the structure, oval egg kind of structure, living in a bowl kind of thing, and we worship. That's the Shiva because it is formless. There is no form. Other gods and goddesses in India, in our Hindu religion, or the religion which we call Hindu, has pictures of every god and goddesses, even Shiva and Shakti. But only in the temple of Shiva, we worship formless statue. So it's interesting if you come and know about every religion has a great mystery about itself, and there is a history about itself. But with this so-called religion, I mean, I say so-called because Hinduism is not a religion. You worship a formless God. Even if we call it a God, we have no form about it. This is who we are. We can be Shiva only in a formless state. And that's a deep sleep state, which happens in the casual body. But if it happens without our awareness, we are not going anywhere. So the deepless sleep, when we are in the deep sleep, we need to be aware that I am, not the I said, I am in a state of deep sleep. So it's like sleeping totally awake. So this is why the Indian yogis never had to go to bed. Never. For centuries, they would just sit. And they would just sit. They never had to lie down. So that's how. And that's when powers come. This is why they have siddhis. Siddhis don't come by resting on cushions and on mattresses. Siddhis don't come when you believe the scientists saying 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Siddhis come when you become formless. That's where you reach. Because
And how much you sleep?
huh?
How much you sleep?
I personally sleep 3.35 or sometimes 3.45 hours.
Yes.
That's all.
I,
So I
was
sleep at
sleeping
like
4 to 5.
12:30 and I wake up at 4:15. So that's my regular.
So 1 month ago or 2, I started to sleep less. So it's very strange. I only do nidra in the mid time, but it's more than 4 hours, more than 3 hours, and I don't feel tired. It's sometimes I get frightened. Is it too much, too less? Do I have to sleep more? It's not normal. But when I heard you, that it's someone
Yeah.
else who sleep like me. Okay,
You see,
I'm not
this
the
question,
only lunatic.
this question again comes, Milena ji, because someone told us, and there is a knowledge and a voice within us
Yes.
which says we need 6 to 8 hours. Then the body starts to question, oh, did I sleep less today? Should I go and have more sleep? That's the tricky part. That's
Yes.
Tripura Sundari, Bhairavi, Bhuvaneshwari playing the black magic on us or creating that Maya within when we don't even trust ourselves.
And one more question. What is Black Shakti Tantra?
So Black Shakti Tantra is when you don't work upon the light, which is the yamas and niyamas. You only work on the dark sides, which we are now studying. So we work on them. It's a direct path. It's not a progressive path. It's a direct path.
But
So
it's
you
not good.
know, so it's like I know that I am, say, with this, I am jealous and I compare. So I know it. And then every day I try, whenever I feel I am jealous, I try to not stop myself. I keep on remaining jealous, I keep on remaining comparing, and suddenly one day it turns that I no more am jealous and I don't compare. It's using too much of the Kundalini energy. But first to do a black magic or first to do a black tantra, black Shakti tantra, you need to have your Kundalini rise up. Because without that,
Very strange.
there will be no energy to do black Shakti tantra. That's why I say it's a direct path. But before direct path, you have done your job. Now you can directly move there. You are not concerned about the light. You know there is black darkness and you walk into the darkness and you don't even think there is light. So you keep upon working upon the dark. Direct path. It's hard. It's hard for us because
Yes.
we live in a family. We live in a society. Black Shakti Tantrics, they live in the Himalayas, all alone in the jungles. They can do it, not us. So this is why, as in the very first class we said, we will be practicing progressive path, not the direct path. It's not made for us. It cannot be. We have to go to the Himalayas.
It's just that the man that asked me if I want to do the Jyotish. So I said, okay, why not? I was done by one Serbian Jyotish teacher, but he's not very well educated. So I said, okay. And then he started to write me and he said, you have to practice Kundalini meditation, which I do already. And then to do the Black Shakti Tantra, which I don't know what is it, and wear red, something like very strange thing. I never heard something like that.
Never heard
So-
something about black.
No, Black Shakti Tantra I never heard. And he
Yeah,
told me, practice
there
that,
is
practice
black,
Kundalini.
there is black, there is red, there is white. There are
Yes, I
three
know that,
tantras.
but never heard like Black Shakti Tantra. So it
See,
looks very strange what he told me.
see, tantra means Shakti because tantra cannot happen without Shakti. So this is why we are studying these Mahavidyas because without the goddess, tantra is not possible. It's not possible by having only a Shiva. A Shiva is needed, but for the Shiva to become complete, a Shakti is needed. We cannot work upon the Shiva because he is everything. He is whole. He is a totality. The goddess have some question marks. This is why Ma Parvati asked Shiva. It's not that Shiva asked Parvati something. She asked because she knew. She had the knowledge. She was only trying to allow herself from dropping the knowledge so that everything could become her knowing. Lord Shiva already knew that Parvati knows everything because he knew, and even she knew, but he knew it. So he never answered her directly. He only gave her techniques, which are known as the 112 meditation, Bhairav Tantra, Bhairavi Tantra or Bhairav Tantra, which we say. So he gave her 112 meditation for every question she had. He had a different technique. So Parvati had 113 questions. Shiva gave her 112 techniques. After the 112
One
techniques
less.
were given,
Wait, she had one. I know the Bihari Tantra
yeah,
meditations, but she had
she had 113
113.
questions.
For on one question, he doesn't have any.
That's what I'm coming to do. So whenever Shiva gave her a technique, she started practicing. It might have taken her weeks, days, months, years, or decades. We don't know that. But every time Shiva gave her a technique, she practiced it. When she came up with the 113 question, when she asked Lord Shiva the question, the 113th question, Shiva became formless and she melted into the formless. That's when Shiva and Shakti united after 113th question. If you look into your life, I look into my life. All the questions we have is out of the stored knowledge. There is not a single question we are asking or we have asked without having a knowledge about it. But there is certain one question in everybody's life which is beyond our knowledge, which we have not heard, not read anywhere. The day we ask that question, we will become formless. So that's the whole thing. So it's like, yeah, cross your fingers to reach there. Just cross your fingers. We will reach there, everybody. Because there is a saying, not a saying, it's written in the Upanishads, which is also written by many writers later on, even in yoga philosophical books. I don't know the names of the books, but yes, I have read many. When you ask the right question, there are no more answers. That's it. So right now we are getting answers because we are not asking the right question. So even if we think we ask questions, mostly is in our knowledge, and most questions is we want to find a little validation of it, a little confirmation. So I think this is this. Let me ask it out and see if I am right. It's not out of innocence. It's out of ignorance right now. When we become innocent, which means we don't have a knowledge about it, and we ask it, that's the end of the story. We will become formless like Shiva and Shakti. And we'll melt. And once we have melt, we have become whole. That's the whole journey of becoming one. Anyways, we'll end the class. It's already too much time. So have a lovely, wonderful morning, and then afternoon, and maybe even evening. So stay safe, be blessed. Namaste.